Hey there. My name's Andy Kozar, and I'm the trumpeter with Loadbang. We're so thrilled to be back at Charlotte New Music Festival. Thank you to the festival. Thank you to Elizabeth for bringing us back. Usually, what we would be doing on an evening concert in Charlotte would be performing music from our repertoire, as well as pieces that we have worked on, throughout a couple days by the composers at Charlotte New Music Festival. What we're going to do tonight is a little bit different. So, we are going to show you some pieces that we're really, really thrilled about that are new additions to our repertoire. And then later this summer, we're going to work closely with the composers and record their pieces for Loadbang. We're thinking of tonight as an opportunity. It's a little bit different from a normal concert, of course, but this actually is going to give us the opportunity to show you some pieces that we wouldn't actually be able to show you if we were all in the same place in Charlotte. For instance, two pieces for us and string orchestra. Another thing that I think is actually going to be very cool about this evening is that we have videos from a handful of the composers whose music we're featuring tonight that are going to speak to you a little bit about their pieces. The first piece we're going to play is a 2019 piece by the title Apis, which is written by George Lewis, fantastic composer. Apis is conceived as a musical response to a video titled Apis mellifera, a video by the artist Terry Adkins. There's an incantation at the beginning of this video that states soldier, shepherd, prophet, martyr, which refers to the abolitionist John Brown. He repeatedly acted on his belief that armed insurrection was the only way truly to overthrow the institution of American slavery. The text of George's piece was written by Fred Moten, and though the Moten poem exists in its entirety, you'll hear at the end of the piece. In the beginning of the piece, part of George's compositional process involves creating what he referred to as a quasi-algorithmic recombination of the text. So, the title, again, of this piece is Apis, and the title of the poem is also the same. I'll read you the poem, and then we'll play the piece for you. Shepherd of bells, martyr of sweet, prophet of wool, soldier of bees, shadow of bird, mystic of sweat, prisoner of wind, servant of blue. Thanks for checking this out. We hope you enjoy George Lewis's Apis. Since 2015, Loadbang has embarked on a project where we've been commissioning composers who have already written works for us that we perform all the time and work incredibly well for our ensemble. We've gone back to those composers and commissioned them to write new works for us with string orchestra, sort of a concerto grosso of sorts. This has been in close collaboration with both the String Orchestra of Brooklyn and Chatter, a really terrific organization based out of Albuquerque. To date, we have had over 8 pieces written for this instrumentation by composers including Yves Beglary and Ryko Futing. Tonight you'll hear a piece by Paula Matthusen and one by Heather Stebbins, and many, many others. You can visit our website and actually hear a bunch of these. Tonight we are going to feature Heather Stebbins' Riven, as well as a work by Paula Matthusen we'll talk about a little bit later. So Heather's going to join us to speak very quickly about her piece, and then we will present Riven for you.
Hi, my name's Heather Stebbins, and thank you for listening to Loadbang's performance of my piece, Riven. Riven was composed during a time of a lot of change in my life. I had moved from Boston to Washington, D.C. to start a new job, and I was about to have a new baby. I think a lot of the textures and gestures within Riven really reflect all this flux that was happening. For the composition process, I started by composing the electronic part and then really allowed my musical intuition to guide the process for the acoustic element. There isn't any text. All of the vocal sounds are phonemes that I chose based on singing through the lines. And the title is really just a word whose definition I felt suited the piece. There's no connection to the video game, although I did play it growing up. So many thanks to Loadbang and the string players for their phenomenal performance, and thank you for listening.
Each year, Loadbang runs a commission competition where we invite composers from all over the country to submit a piece of chamber music for us between 2 and 7 players that they feel best shows the quality of their work or best shows who they are as a composer. We listen through all of these works and we go through a very, very long process of deciding who the winner is. And in 2018, the winning composer was Cristina Lord, who wrote us a really tremendous piece titled The State of Things. In a moment, she'll tell you a little bit about her piece and then we'll play it for you. Though the application for the 2021 commission competition is not yet up, it will be released this fall. So if you check back at the link below, we hope to see your submission to the competition. Again, this is Cristina Lord's The State of Things.
Hi, my name is Cristina Lord, and I'm the composer of The State of Things. This work is a commentary on America's response to climate crisis and unfolds in 3 parts. The first movement, Production, describes the problem of consumerism in America, which has created a linear industrial complex that depletes resources and is ultimately unsustainable. Musically, this is reflected by a repeated note figure that continuously builds but never really seems to go anywhere meaningful. The second movement, Accumulation, represents the build of toxins, pollutants, and greed in the environment and in society as a whole. Musically, this is represented by increasing textural density with dissonant harmonic clusters throughout. Over the top of this, there's a sung melody that doesn't quite seem to fit the rest of the texture. This represents how America often uses entertainment to distract us from bigger underlying problems. The bass clarinet has another lyrical melody here as well, which mirrors the same sentiment, over which we hear choking and suffocation sounds beginning to emerge. The final movement, Suffocation, has 4 distinct sections which each play on the concept of breath in a different way. Ultimately, this movement seeks to represent the collapse of the system and acts as a sort of requiem. Thank you for listening.
The next piece you're going to hear is by Alex Mincek, and it's called Number May Be Defined. This piece asks the question that a lot of our earlier repertoire does, which is, what are these instruments doing together? What can they do together? And they answer it by finding a commonality between us. So in some of our repertoire, that means registral commonality, so you'll have me singing in falsetto, so I can be paired with a trumpet, or these sort of richer, distorted male choir textures that we find in some of our earlier rep. And Alex answers this question by finding a way to change all of our sounds and by muting us. So you'll hear in the beginning of the piece, the brass instruments are playing with practice mutes, which are small metal mutes that are meant to dampen the sound down so much that you could play it in your hotel room or your apartment or something without disturbing your neighbors. And he's invented a kind of muting for me for the piece. So I have this cardboard tube here with a hole cut in it, and I sing in it both like this and like this with muting on and off the end of it to transform the sound and to sort of tamp it down into a similar sound as the muted brass. And of course it develops and changes from there, but that's the point where he finds the cohesion and a sort of compressed unity between the instruments of the ensemble. And yet they must be somehow distinct from one. Since otherwise they would merge into a single unit that was assumed in the flock identical. But they differ at least by the position which they occupy in space. And let us set aside the sheep themselves and retain only the idea of them. The idea of them. Let us set aside the sheep themselves and retain only the idea of them. The idea of them. Either we and it follows place them side by side in or else we place them side by side in or else we shall place. It is in a space that such takes place. It is in a space that such takes the shape of a sun, and yet they must be somehow distinct. Somehow somehow distinct. Somehow distinct. Somehow this is what number although we
Before Paula Matthusen comes on to tell you a little bit about the last piece, which is another one for Loadbang and String Orchestra, I just wanted to again thank Elizabeth for having us at the festival, to everybody working for Elizabeth at the festival to make this whole thing happen, to you, the audience, for checking this out and spending an hour with us. And I just wanted to let you know that if you're interested in seeing some of our additional work or hearing some of our additional music, please visit our website. We have tons of videos up there. You can also buy physical copies of CDs, if any of you have a CD player, at Amazon, Naxos, or through New Focus, our record label. But if you're interested in digital downloads of any of our music, We would really appreciate it if you visited our Bandcamp page, actually, because through the COVID crisis, Bandcamp has been really tremendous with giving so much of the income for CDs directly back to the artists. And that allows us to continue commissioning, continue recording, and continue to commission and develop a body of repertoire for an instrumentation that in 2008 had no repertoire. It didn't exist. And now in 2020, we have over 325 pieces, and we're still growing. Thanks again, and we hope to see you in person next time around. Bye-bye.
Hello, Charlotte New Music Festival. My name is Paula Matthusen, and I'm so excited for you to hear Such Is Now the Necessity, written for Loadbang with the awesome addition of 12 amazing string performers. This piece is part of a series of 3, which explores words, their mediation, and resonances across the ensemble. If the title, Such Is Now the Necessity, sounds familiar, that is because it draws its name from the Declaration of Independence. I want to thank Loadbang and their intrepid compatriots for bringing this piece to life, to Charlotte New Music Festival for continuing to foster the creation and sharing of music, and to all of you for coming together to listen. I only wish I was there to cheer everyone on, and so I'm very grateful for this, and thank you, and I hope you like it. Bye.